I want you to know that obligation ain't love. I want you to know that the delightful feeling of love is not going to show up in the evil situation. It's not going to show up in the relationship out of balance. And you might look at somebody that's unhappy. Don't hope for them to one day wake up and be happy. Because love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. And I think the mature thing for human beings to do is to find that rejoicement, to find that truth, and to give a person the grace and the understanding to find themselves. I think that is very important in our understanding of love, where we get into a space where love is a person taking you out to dinner, where love is buying you a bunch of shit or giving you a bunch of money or making your life completely easier or fucking you real good and things of that nature. From this perspective, I find that the truest expression of love, is not putting on a lace front, is not throwing on some gray sweats, is not being the sexiest, the baddest, the cutest, the strongest. That has nothing to do with love. Love would be more of a meditating and a receptive modality to understanding, the need to understand, the need to understand yourself, the need to tune into yourself, the ability to take everything away and solely listen to your soul. This is real love. Now, the other side of the spectrum is when we are praying and asking and begging God to do something for us, right? That one, we could do for ourselves, and two, is probably not what we need, right? I think you need to come to the realization that spirit is not listening to you. Why would spirit listen to you? Spirit listen to you as much as you listen to your child tell you about nuclear physics. You know how you know what your child know and what your child don't know? You're not trying to, your soul is not trying to listen to you. You don't have the perspective to know. You only have the perspective to ask and to beg and to wish. The only problem that you have about your relationship is that it's not what you want it to be. Or you're not in a relationship, or you're not in the house that you want to have. It's all of these things, right, that you feel like you need. So now we're utilizing spirit. We're in the spiritual community. What you think, that Coven of Witches ain't a bunch of begging bitches? Now, instead of one begging bitch, you got a whole group of begging bitches. Manifesting clubs. What is manifesting groups? A whole bunch of begging motherfuckers. Manifest, also known as begging spirit, for shit that you could have learned. Could have did a fucking class online or some shit, but you gonna pray and meditate and beg spirit for, not even meditate, but just beg, basically. This need to make your life better or to improve your life is the reason why you can't find love. Because the modality of saying that this thing is going to improve the quality of my life is a false equivalence. The reality of you being a sovereign soul in a human vessel and the ability to communicate with said soul through the modality of receiving. But one has to understand the mode of quieting the mind. And two, right? What's the second part? You have to understand that this is love. Right? This is the love, right? So it's like I really want to love this man. I really want to love this person. And it's like, yes, that may or may not happen. And I'm not trying to dissuade you, but the guaranteed love is the love that comes from quieting your mind. Like, and it's like you may think to meditate as a way for like other reasons, but I want to put it in a space where meditating, spiritual acts are a mode of self-love. Like, this is how you're loving yourself, but not just doing the mode of meditating and receiving. Martha and Mary, we are also sharing, we are also giving that love. So when it comes to our relationships, we are not seeking fulfillment from the external because we're receiving fulfillment through our spiritual practice. Our mode with other people is to give. But throughout this mode of receptive, we also have quick discernment. Quick discernment is different from not having no foundation of love and just attaching to people that don't mean as well. So you might be afraid of, well, the last time I gave love away, that person did me wrong. Well, did you come from a place of serving your soul completely? Did your soul tell you to deal with this person, or your ego or your insecurity? Right? So we're more into love. We're more into the science of love. And we're also realizing that love is a spiritual modality. And true love is to be a channel of the divine. True love is to speak things into existence because you speak things from the soul. And you get to this point by being a consistent and continuous channel for your soul through receptive modalities of meditation. And you're listening, learning, journaling, and you also get into a space that you speak in the affirmative. So I would never ever say that I can't find love. That's not my truth. The reality is that I get more love than I know what to do with. And even if that's not true, I'm going to speak that into existence. I'll never say I'm not prosperous. I literally just gave my last dollar to a bum on the street like that was my last dollar of cash, but I don't worry about money. When you start to really get into your spiritual work, it's two things you're not going to worry about: love or money, right? Now, if love and money is on the top of your list, that's because you are not connected to source. Because source is always going to give you money. Source is always going to give you love. You a channel for it. You are a magnet to it. Ever since I've been a channel for the divine, I've never had to worry about money, and I've never had to worry about love. I get love in all types of flavors and ways. It's a result of my spiritual connection, and a person might look at me and say, damn, he getting all his attention, he getting all of his love. But if you look at that and you see that, I'm also saying it could happen to you too. All you have to do is be a channel for the divine. Because if you're not a channel for the divine, you're a channel for the ego, and you'll be in that energy. And the ego is telling you, God, please send me a man. Ain't no good men out here. You're a channel for the bullshit. You're a channel for the evil. You're a channel for the devil. You saying things that is not in reference to the betterment of your life. Didn't you know in the beginning the word was created and the word was God? Everything you say is important, and some of you just not strong enough to speak in the affirmative, to speak in the affirmative spiritual. And so because of that, you create that reality. So don't say shit. Just listen, listen till you start to speak in ways that is in the transformative, in the positive expectation, and don't pray and beg and pull on spirit to bring you shit. More than listen to how they already know what you want. You just don't know how to get it. So follow the blueprint, follow the plan. In Hindu religion, which is like a connection between Aphrodite, Diana, Kali Ma, and it's this mother energy, but this mother energy is like very violent. But I think it's a play on words, no pun intended. There's also a different type of energy, goddess energy, mother energy, that's named Vak or Vake or Vas. And Vas, like Kali, is an energy of purification or death, protection, offerings, and communication. Her symbols are the spoken word and fresh flowers. The Balinese Hindu goddess of charms and incantations. Vak joins today's celebration using her powers to banish any lingering shadows or negativity from our lives. Now, we're going to personify her, meaning that it's a person, but the personification means it's a human quality. So it's a human quality, but it's also a person. So the person is Vak. The quality is the voice. And what does the voice do? It banishes any lingering shadow or negativity from our lives, but it doesn't do it vicariously just because, we're just great people. You're going to have to tell me what you want, right? You're going to have to tell me what you're willing to offer. You're going to have to tell me how great life is going to be and show me how great life is going to be by your actions. But your actions and your words, they should match, right? One's in the chat if your actions and words should match. So if the word is God, not the word within itself, is the word in the action, because the outer and the inner is one and the same. And sometimes we think if we could just say the shit. Y'all ever had a person that's just saying the shit but not having no intention or acting it out? That's not really sacred. That's not really spiritual. That's not going to get you to the promised land. Say what you're going to do. Traditionally, Vak is present in any sacred words that convey occult power and knowledge. This is especially true of mantras that reaffirm, sustain, and shelter one's soul. So you can say a whole bunch of stuff in reference to, I hope this man is a good man. I hope this job don't never do me wrong. I hope this house don't never break down. And all you doing is cursing yourself. What should you reaffirm, sustain, and shelter? Should you reaffirm the job? Should you reaffirm your wife? Should you reaffirm your husband? Should you sustain your relationship? Should you shelter your relationship? Should you shelter your job? Or should you do all of these things for your soul? So when we are communicating, we could communicate from the ego, but we could also communicate from the soul. That's the power of words. But if all of your words is based upon what you see with these two eyes, you missing out on the third eyes. What is the third eye? The third eye is the seat of the soul, okay? So the seat of the soul, what is the soul doing? The soul is sitting down and is looking, right? So if you're not activating your third eye or perceiving life from your third eye, you're not speaking from it either. So a lot of times when people haven't done the root chakra work, right? When a lot of times when you haven't done the sacral chakra work, you're reaffirming and you're sustaining and you're sheltering your insecurity. And since you feel and you believe that insecurity to be true, can't nobody tell you anything otherwise. And this is where you see a lot of grown people at, asking God to deliver them a husband, right? Artistic renderings reveal Vac as a mature, graceful woman, bedecked in gold, an allusion to solar energy. She sometimes also appears as a cow, which is her mother goddess aspect. Bali legends say that hellish beings roam freely during this time of year, so everyone cleanses themselves in the land through magic and supplications. In this spirit, periodic spiritual house cleansing is a good habit to get into, especially if you live in the city. Leave an offering of flowers on your altar, saying Vak's name as you put them out. This begins the process of purging any clinging bad vibes and restoring your home's sanctity. Use noisemakers to chase out any male-intended magic or spirit. Burn sweet-smelling incense to welcome Vak to your home, saying, Vak, charge my speech with security so no darkness can dwell in my home or me. Vak, be welcomed in through my words. Let the magic ever be heard. So, just reading through that, just giving you a different spin on the same thing, because you can read Christian texts, you can read Hindu texts, you can read the fucking Source magazine, my nigga, and come to the same conclusion, right? Love, truth, and soul. Can I get that in the chat? Because I want us to unite in understanding. I really do love that, because spirituality is not an easy thing to understand. That's why I look at the world, and there's a lot of flim-flammers and scammers. There's a lot of mumbo jumbo, and I'm still trying to learn this shit. So I could just be stupid as hell, right? I could just be on the short yellow bus, or this shit is hard, right? Love, truth, soul. Can I get that in the chat? If that makes sense. Can we come to a consensus that our soul, truth, and love are synonyms or close, similar, associated concepts? Because we can get caught up in a lie, we can get caught up in falsehoods, we can get caught up in glamour, we can get caught up in manipulation, we can get our fucking feelings hurt. We could get used, we could get manipulated, we could get a whole bunch of negative experiences, but I'm gonna give y'all a goddamn a life hack. Love, truth, and the soul, right? Very, very, very important. Because a lot of times, bro, it'd be a lot of material, conspiracy theory, bullshit energy out here. And spiritually, we none the wiser because we didn't get the foundational keys to our spiritual journey. We got caught up in the sensationalism and the, oh, they dropping new ankhs. Oh, they dropping new hats. Oh, they dropping new clothes, right? But I really will hope that a person will listen to this broadcast and understand the work that I put in these messages and begin to open up some doorways in their mind to be able to show discernment in this everyday life. And one of the key discernments can be found in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 6. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Sometimes you can be in a relationship that's built upon obligation, and you could be very hurt and very sad, and that person that's manipulating you or obligating you to said things will say, well, you know you got these obligations to meet. I don't give a fuck if you sad. One's in the chat. You got to take the kids to school at 8 o'clock. So what the fuck you doing sad? What the fuck you doing sick? What the fuck you doing depressed? What the fuck you doing hurt? I want you to know that obligation ain't love. I want you to know that the delightful feeling of love is not going to show up in the evil situation, is not going to show up in the relationship out of balance. And you might look at somebody that's unhappy. Don't hope for them to one day wake up and be happy, because love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. And I think the mature thing for human beings to do is to find that rejoicement, to find that truth, and to give a person the grace and the understanding to find themselves. Because in this world, it's hard to find yourself. In this world, you on the hedonic treadmill. The hedonic treadmill is a concept that came up in my study. It's like when talking to people, man, people got this specific thing. Everybody got a thing, man. Whether it's getting a job or getting a promotion or getting